Do you have the relationship of your dreams? Well, if you do, great. If you don't, it might have something to do with your mindset. Well, on today's show, we're going to be talking about the consciously loving relationship, or modern day relationship, and my first guest is sure to inspire you. Hello, I'm Shannon Skinner, and this is Extraordinary Women TV. My first guest is Monika Burwise. She is a human dynamics expert and a modern day mystic, and also has quite a inspiring personal story to tell that I know that is going to inspire you. Later in the segment, before we take a break, I'll have my good to know minute when I ask my guests for their top success tip. You'll hear Monika's. In the second half of the show, we'll be talking about designing and constructing homes. So stay with us. Monika Burwise, hello and welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me here.
It's so nice having you. And I love your handle, a modern day mystic and a human dynamics expert.
How wonderful. A good combination.
It really is a good combination. You know, we don't get to meet very many modern day mystics these days, so I'm so grateful to have you here today. Now, you studied at Wisdom University.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell me about what is Wisdom University.
Wisdom University is it's a platform for all the modern mystics and researchers and the medical intuitive to get together without any kind of control from the government, but allowing people to actually go for kind of use the whole potential and discover all the secrets that normally within the regular curriculum would not be available to us. So the names that teach there at the university are the biggest names probably in the world.
Can you give us an example?
Yes, Jim Harrison. Jim Harrison is Garrison, sorry. He is the president of the university. He's also a teacher and modern mystic. He worked with President Gorbachev for 10 years. Carolyn Myss as well.
Yeah.
She was one of my teachers. And Andrew Harvey, he is probably the biggest modern mystics of our times as well. Wrote like 30 books. Fantastic man. So I always had a pleasure to surround myself with amazing people who taught me a lot. So very, very amazing place. And the school is not in one place. It's more about traveling the world and discovering all different secrets of secret sites. And some of the classes were held in Italy, in France, Hawaii, and pretty much all over the world.
So Wisdom University doesn't actually have a physical location then?
It also does.
It also does. Yeah.
But most of the seminars are held all over the world. Yes.
And so part of what you do, you have been doing, is studying the ancient secrets, ancient wisdom that's been locked in society and kept. Is the idea that it's sort of kept secret until people are actually really ready to receive it? Is that sort of the idea of?
All those secrets really, and all that ancient wisdom is always and was always available to us. However, I guess the society, the humanity, have to be ready for it to be discovered for them. It's a part of our evolution, and the past decades were very aligned with the mind and the intellect, and it had nothing to do with the wisdom of the universe. So we kind of went a little bit, moved away from that wisdom, but I can see that a lot of people are raising to occasion, and there's a comeback, and people are starting to realize that what is life really all about? They start to ask the right questions, and that wisdom and those secrets that were available before, they are available for them now.
So what was it in your life that intrigued you to want to study ancient wisdom? I mean, this is not your everyday thing that we study. You know, we're not really taught in school, at least certainly the curriculum that I went through never was there anything that indicated once you're finished school, you should go out and study the ancient wisdom, study the ancient secrets. So there's something that happened in your life that sparked you to want to pursue more and understand the universe. So what was that? What was it? Was it a moment?
I was born with a gift, which I didn't understand because nobody around me was able to really explain that to me. It was in Eastern Europe, so
Poland. You were born and raised in Poland.
Nobody even spoke the language. So I grew up with the gift, not knowing what to do with it. Yet I always knew that there's some more to life than what I'm seeing around me. And I knew that there's more to our brain that we are really using. And I was so intrigued in expanding my knowledge and expanding my awareness. So I was seeking. I was a seeker as a little kid already and growing up. Yet because I didn't have any support with that, I kind of went with the flow with what the society taught me. Go to school and you got to take this program and that program to find that sort of job, because it will bring you the money, and I kind of went towards the business and that kind of material side of life, I guess, and that gift, that calling, was coming back to me over and over, but I just didn't really want to give in to it, and until it was expected from me, and I had a major car crash and I nearly died, and I ended up severely wounded physically. I had a broken neck, 2 surgeries, all sorts of torn muscles,
and chronic pain after.
Chronic pain, clinical depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. I was in such a place that I really didn't think I would get myself out of it. But that's where real journey started for me, and that's where I really started to dig deep and go to places that I had glimpses of before, but I didn't understand so well. And I started to really expand on those concepts and study constantly. I was studying 24/7, and I knew that I will be able to get myself out of that situation. And I did.
So that got you beyond, studying got you beyond the pain, it got beyond, it helped you in your own healing. Is that correct to say?
I studied all modalities of healing. I knew that nobody can help me, but I can help myself. And I realized that going to the doctors, from doctor to doctor, it was just, I was hearing diagnoses that were just completely not making sense to me. So I knew that the whole power will be lying within me, and it did. It was about gaining the wisdom of what I am all about and what we are all about. That power within that we have inherently given to us, and we are just not using it because we are conditioned in a certain way. We are conditioned to look for our power, our strength on the outside, not within. So it's not an easy journey, it's just unfamiliar. It's very simple, really, if we gain the awareness, but it's very unfamiliar. We are not taught that way, to think that way, that we are really the creator of our own reality, of our own life, and we have the power to change our lives at any given moment.
Now, you co-founded the Global Awakening Institute along with your husband, your relatively new husband. You're recently married.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a really interesting story, how you met your husband and the start of Global Awakening Institute. But let's just quickly talk about what is Global Awakening Institute, what do you do, and then I want to hear the story about how you got married.
Of course,
it's really intriguing.
It's a juicy story. The Global Awakening Institute is a platform for us to implore all the wisdom and research and development and knowledge that we gained over pretty much 2 decades, each of us. So it's 4 decades of hard work on on really finding the answers to questions that people are asking for millennia. What is life all about, and what we are all about? What is our mind all about? Our brain, how we connect with the universe, and we have we developed many programs and many workshops and webinars and coaching sessions for people to actually regain their own power. We both went to many seminars over the years, and one common thing that we realized is...
And this is your husband, Graham.
Graham
Burwise,
yes. He was born that way as well. He studied mystical wisdom since he was pretty much 6 years old. So he has a pretty nice record of gaining that experience and knowledge. And so we realized that out there, all those seminars that we attended are motivating people and giving them the power from the outside. And what was missing always is, how can you really change your life yourself? How can you imply your own strength and then your own wisdom into creating whatever you want in your life? So that's how we decided to dedicate ourselves to facilitate that growth and expansion for people.
So you put on your workshops, and you're based here in Toronto, of course.
We are based in Toronto, and we run a few signature workshops like Language of Love, The Ultimate Relationships.
Which you have, so we're going to share that after, yeah.
Access Your Power, Living from the Inside Out, everything that implies that that shows people how to use that power and how to change their lives to reflect their dreams.
Now, Monika, that's a perfect place to stop, to take a break. But before we take a break, I'm going to have my Good to Know Minute. And I know you've got a great success tip, so jump right in there.
What I learned is that the universe is in constant harmony. If we take a note from a Beethoven symphony, it doesn't have any meaning. The same if we dissect our life into a particular circumstance and we look at that from the close, it won't make any sense to us. So if we put those notes together and those circumstances together, we are going to gain a bigger perspective, and we are going to play the music, and we will be in harmony. And then we will find meaning in our life.
Well, that is good to know, so thank you for that. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more with Monika Burwise. She's a human dynamics expert, modern day mystic, and she's going to talk about this amazing way that she met her husband, and she's going to share her story so that maybe you too can have the ultimate relationship. So stay where you are. Hello, I'm Shannon Skinner, and welcome back to the show. I'm joined by Monika Burwise. She's a human dynamics expert, modern day mystic, inspirational woman, had a near fatal accident, changed her life, met her husband along the way in one of the most interesting stories that I have come across. So let's talk about that. Graham, your husband, who's here in the studio today. Thank you, Graham, for being here. So you met your husband not in a conventional way, and you have one of the most amazing relationships that I have, that I've seen between a couple. So, tell me, how did you get this man? How did you get this relationship? Share with my viewers.
Well, that's a very interesting story, and really it blew our minds as well how it all happened. But we were kind of ready for it. And of course, like many other women, I went through all sorts of different relationships and all different experiences. Probably looking back, they were not so hot, but it taught me a great wisdom about looking at myself and growing to the capacity that I was able to enter a new relationship that will be the one that I always knew is possible. So I just finished a 2.5-year relationship, and I was kind of at the place that I realized that I will be fine by myself, whether I would be in the relationship or without. And when I got myself into that space of peace, 2 days later, there was some man contacting me on the Facebook, commenting on my posts. I usually do some posts about either higher consciousness or some other wisdom, and he started to really go in depth to comment on whatever I posted. And I'm like looking at that, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that is the first time that a man intellectually challenged me, and I found it so intriguing. But I also was very smart, so I'm thinking, okay, hold on, who is our friend? And I started to research a little bit about him, and I realized we really don't have any friends in common besides one lady that I didn't even know. I'm like, how is that even possible?
So you didn't know him in the physical, real world sense, but he was a friend, a Facebook friend that you had not been in contact with before.
We started to exchange ideas, and I realized how important that always was for me, is to find someone who is at the same level of evolution, and I can connect so easily, and skip all the unnecessary steps that, like dating, for courting, and I realized how much illusion is in that. So 2 weeks later, we are in a relationship, and the little detail that I can throw here is that he was in South Africa and I was here in Toronto.
South Africa, you're in Toronto, you connect on Facebook.
And we are in a relationship 2 weeks later.
And you're in a relationship 2 weeks later. How can that be? This is really intriguing.
It was really not a choice. It was something bigger than I could even imagine happening in my life. It's like something greater took over my whole mind, body, and spirit, and just guided me through that experience. And if I didn't do extensive work on myself, if I didn't work on growing awareness, I would not have a clue what is happening, and I would probably abandon that idea quite quickly. But it was very intriguing for me, and I was always looking for that mystical experience, something happening behind the scenes, so I just trusted the process.
So this felt mystical to you?
Very.
Right.
And it was a mystery. And I probably that's what really spiked my interest. It was such a mystery. There was no intelligent answer to any of the things that were happening.
No reason.
No reason.
Reasoning,
not at all. My intellectual mind didn't compute at the time, so I thought it's very interesting. So I went with it. 2 months later, we were planning the wedding. And 4 months later, I flew with my wedding dress to South Africa, and we got married in a beautiful wedding ceremony on the beach 4 days after we physically met.
Now, you had bridesmaids. You'd never met them before.
No, I had my bridesmaids that I met already in Africa. They were assigned to me. It's very interesting because it felt like arranged marriage. Everything was arranged. Getting married with, so to speak, stranger, really, if you really think about this. Yet, funny enough, within those 4 months, much earlier, I knew him and he knew me. We knew each other more than in any long-term relationship that I have been in the past. It was quick, it was immediate, it was just opening. We are so the same. If we can tap into that energy, all answers are there. The rest is an illusion.
So this is not your conventional way of meeting someone and getting married.
Absolutely not.
You know, how we think things should happen. It's that you meet someone, you're attracted to them, you like them, you have things in interest, you date for a while, and then you get married, and then it goes from there. But I mean, you married someone you'd not even met physically, but on a deep spiritual level, you felt that you knew this person very well, and it was right. What did your friends say and your family?
They all thought that I went completely crazy. They knew what to expect of me already, but that really blew their mind. And the same on Graham's side. They all thought that he completely lost it. And until we really pulled it together, and even now that people can observe our relationship progressing and expanding and growing, they are really blown away. But what it really did for people, it opened their awareness to new possibilities. And it's the same example with the 4-minute mile. Until someone was able to break that record, that was inconceivable. And the moment it was done, it was reachable for other people. So ever since we did what we did and got married and showed people another way of being and meeting people and having that understanding about relationships and about love, at least a handful of women actually got into relationships and found their soulmates, and some of them within a couple of months, and they are married or on the way to get married. So and they just always say, you know what, just that possibility that you brought to the table made me think that, you know what, it's all possible.
So what does our mindset have to do with having the relationship that we dream of or not having it? What does the mindset have to do with what happens?
What I would say, it's not really a mindset, it's more the conditioning of the mind ever since we are brought to this world, and all the belief systems, all the beliefs that we are taught by our ancestors, by our parents. We are kind of living our lives on an automatic pilot at times, and we get ourselves into a place of living an illusion. We are not open to see other possibilities sometimes, and it's just about, it's not really even about working on your mind or changing your mind. It's just shifting the perspective on things that really is the key. It's growing that awareness that is the key.
Now, this is something that you talk about quite a bit now in your teaching with the Global Awakening Institute. It sounds like it's really an important topic.
It's probably one of the most important topics that I found from experience that is needed and necessary. It was needed and necessary in my own life. And I can see how it's needed also in other people's lives, and the people that I work with, they also shifted their lives so tremendously that it's just a pleasure and such a gift for me to watch how they transform their lives as well. And it's really, it's not about change over time. It's not hard. It's really easy. It's just a shift in perception. It's just unknowable to us. We just don't have the tools sometimes to be able to do that.
So do we, if we don't have the tools, does that mean that we seek people who do have the tools, or is it just a matter of opening up the mind? You know, for someone who's stuck, let's just say, and they don't have the relationship they dream of, they don't have the career they dream of, they don't have the money they dream of, they're stuck. You know, perhaps it's just a shifted awareness, shifted perspective or perception. But how do they get there?
What I always say is that we have to do it ourselves, but we cannot do it alone. So we definitely need a guidance and assistance with the process of evolution. Even I have teachers. All of us have some sort of teachers, guides that will push our thinking to a different level or challenge our thinking. Sometimes it takes a third perspective or second perspective to see things in a different light. And that's when the shift happens. So just pondering on our thoughts and crucifying ourselves for it is not the way to go. It's just actively looking for some sort of other ways of living.
Something else, you know, that I think is interesting about you is you came to Canada from Poland, you had to learn English, and you had to, you taught yourself a lot after having moved here. So what was that time like for you, coming to a country when you don't know the language? You have a successful life now, but what was it like when you came here?
It was, if I had to do it again, I'm not sure if I would choose that path. But I was always a seeker. I was always very brave. I was seeking challenges. So for me, it was really exciting.
It's because at one point you went into the army.
Well, that's a little bit different story. It's when I came here, I had such dreams, and I came without the language, without the money, and the first year that I came here, that fatal accident happened, and I had no family here to support me, no friends. I had even nobody to come and visit me in the hospital, and yet I was going through a life-threatening surgery. So everything altogether, it was beyond my capacity to comprehend and deal with. And at some point, when I was so physically and emotionally disabled, I asked myself a question. What can I do that is opposite of where I am at the moment? And that's when the concept of the army came to my mind, and I said, I'm going to train for the army. And I hired a personal trainer for 8 months. It was probably the toughest thing that I had to go through, is to do it on my own without any kind of support and in extreme pain. And yet I knew that I will get there, and I did. And I actually passed already part of examination. I just changed my mind because it was really a means to the end for me. Is to prove myself that it's mind over matter, is that we can do every single thing in life if we really focus on it. So it was very, very tough, but I would never change that for anything, because that helps in my practice. I can identify with so many challenges that people are going through in their life. So many women, immigrants, people who lost their health in one way or another, people that are going through major challenges in their relationships. I've been there, and I found a way to get out of those situations, and really that's what enriched my life. So as tough as it was, I really found many lessons in it, and I'm really thankful for that.
So Monika, what's next for you?
We are working on a book right now. Actually, 2 books. One will be on the modern relationships, and showing people how to what it is all about. There is this a little bit skewed perspective on relationships that we were conditioned to believe, that is full of illusions, and really people are looking in relationships for happiness, to get that from somebody else. And yet relationships, what we learned and what we researched and what we know now, are really all about growth and expansion. It's about pushing each other's buttons. It's about growing. It's about moving forward. And we live in a society where we are still growing up on those cartoons about the Snow White and Sleeping Beauty and the knight with a shining armor coming to rescue us. And that's what we are sometimes looking in life for. Somebody to come and rescue us and make us happy. And it's the moment we can see how illusionary that is, that's when really some magic starts to happen.
Well, Monika, unfortunately we have run out of time, but I've really enjoyed this time with you. Thank you for being here, for sharing your wisdom and your inspiring story, and best of luck to you in all that you do.
Thank you very much.
For more information about Monika Burwise, you can visit my website at extraordinarywomentv.com. You'll find her episode page, which will contain this interview, as well as her bio and some other information. So I invite you to visit the site. And of course, for more information about upcoming shows or to contact me, you can also visit extraordinarywomentv.com. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, lots of places you can follow me. Well, in the second half of the show, we are going to be talking about design and construction. So stay where you are.